New media is what the record industry for about 10 years has called the guys that deal with the internet. And personally, I think new media is a really foolish name for it, especially in the year 2006. The internet's not going away, and there's nothing that new left about it. I mean, it's always changing, and there's always new stuff, but new media isn't the best name for it. But a new media, as it really relates to either this label and many other record labels, is for us, I'm dealing with every web effort that we've got, and building artist websites for them, building our label websites, and dealing with the whole process of building them, the production of them, the conceptualizing of them, managing the data that we learn about our consumers, managing the email lists. And so that's part of it. Our websites are a big part of it, but also what I would call then account management for marketing partners. So America Online is a great example of that. They'll promote our new releases at America Online, or we'll go to, depending on the release, a targeted place. Liz Wright might be work very well at BET.com, whereas Jamie Cullum will work at this particular website. And we'll hit the ever proper places to go and market those albums. And then the third component, and that's really blown up in the last few years, is the commercial selling of digital music. And it's turned the new media departments at labels into huge revenue sources, as opposed to, oh yeah, those are the guys that know about computers. Now we're actually making quite a bit of money for our respective labels. Day to day, I'm dealing with Apple iTunes, Microsoft Network, Napster, Yahoo Music, Pass Along, MusicNet, whomever is selling digital products in today's world, both in the U.S. and then assisting with how our global structure is within Universal around the world on us selling digital products.
Do you call them or they call you?
Well, both. I mean, they need, for any good website needs good content. They have nothing without it. And so, I'm very fortunate to work at a company where we have good music and great artists and authentic stuff and things that people want, even though we don't have the huge AAA plus level Eminem, Kanye, stuff like that. We've got very credible, very authentic, great music, and it's commercially viable, and it fits a place that people need to round out their, as they would say, and they talk more MBA speak, their digital content offering. They might talk like that. I would just say, here's some great music. It's the record biz. Stop talking like that. But so it's both. I mean, being part of a major company, being part of Universal Music Group means, for me, I don't have to do the deals with iTunes. I don't set up a relationship with what our wholesale price is going to be. I don't set up the deal, the contract with Rhapsody about how it's going to work with a subscription service. What I end up having the luxury of doing is coming in as good cop later, and I'm marketing purely and working on placement and positioning, coming up with great ideas and new promotions together with Apple or Rhapsody, Reel, MSN, you name it, what works for both parties. And how we can slot in a Liz Wright on the same day there's a new J-Lo and a Britney Spears record coming out. How does that work? Because in general, most of the people I'm dealing with, most of the people the guys at Blue Note are dealing with, or the Columbia Jazz Department or Concord or whomever, they're dealing with the same label liaisons at Apple that are also dealing with hip-hop, R&B, and other mega artists. So it's a matter of understanding perspective and what works for who. So the marketing partners like AOL or any music lifestyle site, we have a soundtrack coming up where we're working with Planet Out Partners, which happens to be the best gay and lesbian targeted websites. And we're doing a soundtrack to a film that has a theme that relates to that audience. In that case, it's all about setting up a promotion online that drives CD sales. And they sell through their own store. Other places may link to Amazon or to Tower Records or Barnes & Noble. And it's not unlike, in that sense, it's not unlike a publicity job that happens to take place online. The difference, I guess, being is publicity is really purely editorial, and the writer's going to write what they believe and think, if they have honor, and most of them do. Whereas we'll have them do an editorial piece, they write it, but we'll wrap around content with it. Here's some sound clips. Oh, here's like a flash animation, we'll call it an e-card, that you can wrap into your promotion. Oh, maybe we'll give away a download that times out after 2 weeks. If come check out this promotion at AOL, here's a free download. So we'll wrap content around the editorial, so it's both a marketing thing as well as an editorial piece. I think it's just a natural evolution more than anything else. I mean, you look back 80 years, and the record industry has always kind of been scared of new technology at first. They didn't like the concept, pardon me, of the radio. The radio was a very scary thing to music publishers and record labels at the time. They thought, oh man, we're going to lose everything. And technology has always, over history and over time, ended up providing this new boon of opportunity to all the facets of the music industry, the labels and publishers and other aspects of the business. So I guess we're in need of saving. Although it's never been quite as bad as the press has made it out. It's been some tough years, but I do think there's mega opportunities. It's going to change the way business is done. It already is. It's undeniable.
In what way?
I think I think it's possible that there's less people needed the more digital the industry becomes. It changes the core functionality, arguably, of a label. Some would say you don't need a label in the new world. Anybody can self-publish. I can make an album in my living room with really high quality, in today's world, the least expensive ever equipment. I could have Pro Tools on my Mac. I've got the expertise to play my instruments, and my good friend happens to be a good engineer. And we can now make this stuff and self-publish it as inexpensively as possible. Put it up through the orchard, and it's on iTunes within months. And maybe if you get lucky, sooner. The thing is, people still need to find out about it. And we still need to drive consumers to it, and that takes a lot of effort to do on a larger scale. So I do see labels evolving to perhaps being more marketing oriented. A label is almost like a venture capitalist for a musician. I mean, you could look at it that way. We've got the bank. We've got the money to press up 200,000 copies. We've got the money to, market those and take it to radio and take it to all these distribution and marketing channels. And in today's world, or in the older world, you needed that money just to get something out. Today you can put something out, but you still need the marketing channels. You and I could make a record. You could put this up on iTunes tomorrow if the pipe worked that quickly. But who's going to care? For one, it's me, so nobody's going to really buy that. But no, I mean, you do want to drive attention, and you have to do that. And I think in the new kind of evolution, there's still going to be need for marketing groups, and they'll probably still be called marketing, and certainly A&R from your expertise. There's always going to be the need for filters to get to these retailers, to get to these radio stations, and a trusted kind of, another MBA phrase, aggregator of content, But, as regular retail and traditional retail and labels go through this transition, it's rather painful because the old business model is slowly decaying. It's not dead. Physical CDs are not dead. But it is going down slightly all the time. And that means fringe or niche music and or things that don't turn as fast as a hot top hit item are going to have less and less shelf space in a store. In the digital world, that shelf space is irrelevant. We ship iTunes one copy and they resell it as many times as they can. So there's less and less people needed to manage that physical process.